Robbie from right here. I'm sure you didn't expect to have to talk to us ever again after your retirement. So I guess what are the emotions after what we just saw in there with the induction?
It was going pretty good, but then once all those fighters and Dana were saying those nice things about me, got a little choked up. But definitely honors, amazing accomplishment, a lot of hard work put into it, not just by me, but trainers, training partners, freaking management team. Just been a long road and just another gift.
Did you have any idea if this was going to happen? Because the last few inductees we've talked to said, Dana asked them to come sit cage side, and then they surprised them with the video package.
I had a feel for it. I didn't tell anybody I had a feel for it. I let my wife know. I'm like, hey. And then when I was sitting where I was sitting, I was like, yeah. But still, when it happens, you're like, oh, this is actually happening. And it's probably the best part of it is all those kind words from all those fighters and my peers and guys who are coming up now, seeing what I put into the sport and how I fought, and definitely makes me feel good.
I was going to ask about that because when they were showing all the fighters, they showed guys like Jens Pulver, who you've known, like he said, he's known you since you were a teenager, all the way to people that are champions now. Like, you don't get a lot of fighters that have crossed like decades of fighting like that. So what was it like to see just like the entire scope of the fighters you've influenced?
It just shows how long I freaking did this for, and I was able to stay relevant for a long time and was able to put on some good performances here and there on the way. But I love the sport. I love to fight, love to compete, love to work out. That's why I was able to do it for so long. I didn't really work. It was just what I enjoyed to do. I knew I was going to fight when I was a sophomore in high school. So it was just, this sport has given so much to me. It's just definitely a blessing.
And in terms of your own, coaching career and life and everything, has the itch come back at all? Because we see a lot of these MMA retirements, and sometimes they don't last as long as we initially thought.
No, I train, but it's like giving back to these fighters, trying to grow and become somebody else. I mean, I fought for so long, did it for so long. Fighting's easy for me. Like, the training's hard. Like, I can't train like nonstop like I used to. I could train hard for like 4 hours, but then I might have to take like 2 days off. So it's different in that way, but I can still fight. I can still compete, but it's just different now.
Have you had, an itch to compete in another combat sport? Because we've seen Mike Perry call you out. Connor's tweeted about you fighting Mike Perry in bare knuckle. Or is just everything hung up? You just want to focus on
it's hung up now, but never say never. I'm not closing any doors, but they look like they're closed. But there's always opportunities out there, but there's just all feel, I guess, what I feel like doing.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Hey, Robbie, here in the back.
Yep.
Congratulations as well. For fans who haven't kept up, what has retirement kind of look like? You talk about training guys at the gym, but like week to week, like what does Robbie Lawler's life look like now that there's not another fight on the horizon anymore?
It's busier. I wake up earlier than I normally do because I have to like get my stuff together, get to the gym at whatever time I get to the gym, which is earlier than most fighters, all of them, and then get my workout in before they're done, or before they get there. I get a workout in, and then I'll drill with guys if there's not enough training partners, and then practice is over around 11:30, 12, and then I go and I lift weights for anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Then I eat. Then I sit around, rest, watch some soccer, and then I go back to the gym around 3. And coach a little bit for probably 2 hours from like 4 to 6. Then I go home and get another workout in and eat and try to not spend too much time watching MMA just because it's my whole day and it's been my life for so long. But it seems like I'm going to be watching a lot more MMA because to be a good coach, you have to freaking watch these guys and see where the sport's evolving.
I was going to ask about that. Do you care much about watching fights just recreationally? Are there guys that are like, no, I'm excited to see this match? Or you've been so close to it, it's like, I'm just good?
Right now I'm kind of like getting a little bit more excited about watching it because it's where I'm evolving to. When I was competing, I didn't really want to watch too much because I lived it every day. And now I got to evolve. I got to learn techniques. I want to learn from coaches. I want to learn from fighters. I just want to get better in all aspects. Kind of like, this is just how I do things, and I'm trying to do stuff at a high level, and I guess I have to watch to get better.
You got any soccer teams you like to follow particularly?
I'm watching a lot of teams right now. Obviously, Barcelona's playing really well right now. Madrid, like Liverpool's kicking butt. I watch everyone because I'm just learning the game, trying to see different playing styles, different players, and yeah, I'm just a fan of the sport. So,
well, congrats again, man.
Thank you.
Robbie in the back, you have a lot of best ofs and memorable moments in your career. At what point did you start to believe that you were Hall of Fame worthy and that you would have a career that would be considered as one of the best ever?
I never really thought about it, and it was, when it happens, you're kind of excited, but like, I just always try to carry myself as if and believe that I was someone special and that I fought a certain way and people liked it, and at the same time I was never really waiting for validation from anyone else. Like, this is definitely an accomplishment, but you could be waiting your whole life to be validated by the outside world. Just as long as I was happy with who I created and who I am today, that was most important. But I think when you listen to all those fighters say those all those wonderful things they said about me, it's definitely, it touches you, and you realize that it was bigger than just me. It was bigger than, I'm touching a lot of lives and creating something pretty amazing, and this sport's awesome. And I just think that's what sport's all about, trying to push people to be better than you and excite the fans, and that's about it.
Hey, Robbie, with that being said, what do you feel like with all those voices, all those impressions, make this moment so fulfilling?
I think, like, when you look at, like, accomplishments, at least for me, like, yeah, I fought a whole bunch, I did a lot of work, but you realize how many people behind the scenes, like, helped you, like, my wife, obviously, sticking with me and being this sport and sports in general, if you do things at a high level, you have to focus on yourself, and I did a lot of focusing on myself, eating when I wanted to, like, not worrying about what my son and wife were doing, just kind of like, I need to eat, I need to do these things. So, like, definitely a lot of sacrifice, not just for me, but from my team and everyone around me and my family. So it's just, that's what I see, like, sacrifice from others.
Congrats.
Robbie, when you look back, starting with Monty Cox's Extreme Challenge and Super Brawl and UFC and then going to Elite XC and Strikeforce and back to UFC, I mean, not many fighters have had a journey like this. What do you think about this career that's taken you so long, over 20 years?
Yeah. It's crazy, just all the organization I was able to fight in. I mean, I got to fight in Pride. It was the first fight in the U.S. too, which is pretty cool. And just, I was always out there to try to put on a show and just, like, do what I love to do, which is fight and compete. And I'm like, hold on a second, they're gonna pay me to freaking fight? Like, the stuff I'd always get in trouble at school when I do. So it's definitely a crazy career, ups and downs, and I always just tried to stay level-headed and, like, so that there wasn't too many highs, weren't too many lows, and just kind of, like, that's why I was able to do this for so long. and I just love to compete, love to work out, and I'm a gym rat. So
What were those days like when you started with Pat Miletich and his crew with Tony Fricklin, Jens Pulver, Matt Hughes, those guys?
it was rough. There was probably 10, maybe 15 guys in there, but they were all pretty high level guys. Pat, obviously a champion. Jen's a champion at the time. Matt Hughes was a champion. And I was this 18-year-old kid trying to figure it out. But I did well and learned a lot from those guys about life and about fighting, and just tried to keep growing.
Any funny stories?
Lots of funny stories, but I'm not telling any of them.
Congratulations and thanks for the great memories in the career.
Thank you.
Congrats on the honor. Just another one to the many accolades. We see now currently BMF belts, something that I know you would have fought for and defended. What are the guys that continue that ruthless tradition, in your opinion, that fight just like you?
I mean, obviously Gaethje, Dustin Poirier. There's lots of guys who are gonna, and there's plenty of guys who are gonna come up there and fight better than I fought, and just go out there and put on shows. The sport's evolving, and these fighters are getting better. They started at a very young age, and I'm proud to be a part of the growth of the sport, and I'm honored to still be a part of this coaching and the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, sir. Congrats.
Just one more in the front right here. Just because you brought up him, I asked this question to Justin Gaethje at Media Day, that these days there's a lot of young fighters that use his name as a description of how they want to fight. Like, they want to be the flyweight Justin Gaethje, the heavyweight Justin Gaethje. And Justin said, well, I wish they wouldn't do that because it might prolong their career. So now as a coach, you might see guys that want to fight like that, fight like you.
Yeah.
Like, do you share that same sentiment as Justin?
I think guys should fight to their skill sets. And if a guy's long, he should probably fight long. He probably shouldn't fight like me and get inside. So it's all about skill sets. If you're not a power puncher and you don't have power to knock somebody out, maybe you should. So that's kind of how I coach. I coach the guy's attributes, and it's not always about putting on a show. It's about winning and prolonging your career.